Good to be back on Total Access. The beautiful Jessie J.
Hello.
How have you been?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, and you're back with a new tune.
Yes.
Which I heard it for the first time about 2 weeks ago.
What
And
do
it
you
went
think?
round and round and round in my head forever.
Yep. It's been in my head for a while too. Since I wrote it, I'm like, wild, wild, whoa.
For me, the lyrics seem to describe where you're at in your life. Is this just a dream? Is this really happening?
yeah.
Is that what it's about?
Exactly what that is about. I remember being in the studio and I remember going on my Twitter and just reading a few, nasty things. And I was talking to Claude Kelly, who's a good friend of mine. And we're just kind of trying to sum up, how crazy the world is sometimes and how success and people trying to pull you down are so extremities of life, and how much you want to appreciate the people that really support you, but how much you can't help but notice the people that don't. And that kind of balance. And I really wanted to write a song, and I was just like, it's wild. And he was like, And I was like, that's a good title. And we just started to write the verses, and basically just saying like, if I work hard, like, I'm going to tell you that it's worth it. Like, we basically just started to put into lyrics what I was saying in a conversation. And it worked.
Good on you.
I hope.
It's absolutely where you're at, and it sounds amazing,
Thank
babe.
you.
It really does.
I think it's a shame when people, feel that it's a normal thing to do. I think for me, I just want to stand up for young people that don't have thick skin, that aren't comfortable with themselves, that, are kind of stuck at home, and I'm reading that constantly. But one thing I will say, and my dad says this to me, is that any bad tweet, or you read 8 or 9, it's not the whole world. It's 5% of the population that might not like you, and that's okay. Not everyone's going to like you, but just don't let that become your divinity. Don't let that draw your attention to it. So I just ignore it now.
They're probably not happy in their lives to do it in the first place, are they?
Of course. So it's a weird cycle, but just pay them no attention, and they have nothing to kind of breathe on, if that makes sense. They need that. They need the attention to kind of keep doing it.
Attention seekers.
Yeah.
I see someone's had a tattoo already of the lyrics for Wild.
I know.
Already?
I know. And someone has already had a tattoo of the new logo, and I'm just like, wow. Like, that's dedication.
And
Crazy.
I saw a tweet from Calvin Harris remixing one of your tunes. What's he mixing up?
Yes, he is mixing up a song that is on the album. Yeah, it's been great. We didn't actually work together in the studio together. He sent me a song, and I was like, this is good. This is really good. And I went in the studio and I recorded it, and it's kind of just been one of those quick moving things. So I'm looking forward to meeting him and, like, finalising the mix and the master and getting it finished.
Oh, that's going to be a treat, that tune. I'll be playing that in the club. I know straight away. Questions from the Total Access listeners then. Katie says, are you planning on staying blonde as your new hair gets longer?
I don't know yet. I really don't know. I'm just enjoying it. I think hair should never be such an important thing as it is sometimes made to be. I think I'm definitely obviously shaved it off for a statement and to raise money for charity, as to kind of stand up for what I believe in. But at the moment, I don't know. I've let it grow a little bit. It's a little longer, believe it or not. I actually woke up the other day and went, my hair's really long. And my friends were like, really? I was like, when you've had like almost skin, this feels long. It's so weird. But I don't know.
Don't know, leaving it open.
I miss having dark hair, but I like it blonde, so.
Bethany Meany says, thank you for writing who you are. What advice would you give to people who struggle to be real to who they are?
Just make sure that you surround yourself with people that you see in your future, that were in your past and are still making an effort to be in your present. Does that make sense?
That's good advice.
I think it's really important. I think don't ever base your friendships on the past. Don't ever think people should just stay in your life because you went to school together. Everyone changes and you grow up, and just make sure you surround yourself with people that are making the effort to love you for who you are today and who you are tomorrow.
That's ringing true with me right now. That's good advice. Janet Cork, where were you when you made your first appearance? I don't know the answer to that, like when you first performed.
Oh, that's a good question. I always think about this because I'm never quite, sorry, I just kicked the table if anyone heard that. I'm never quite sure, but I think one of the first ever things that I was booked for was Britain's Next Top Model, the thing at XL. And I remember styling myself, and I had the most horrific outfit on, and it's always in magazines still, and I'm like, I have like pale lipstick and like blush. It's just not good. It's just not good. But it was fun, and it was the first job of many that I've had now, so I feel very lucky that I got the opportunity.
Jamie asked me on Facebook, have you ever been scared that you'll get pelted with eggs?
I have a few moments at festivals where I'm like, please don't throw cups of wee at me if you're not a fan of the music. But I think the first time that I ever kind of had a crowd not appreciate me is when I toured with Chris Brown. And I walked out and everyone booed me because I had no idea who I was. So I just booed back.
I love that.
And they laughed. Then I went, let's do this. Like, I'm only here for 5 minutes. Just try and enjoy it. Let's have a party. Chris Brown will be out and he will do an hour and a half. And that's what you want. But in the meantime, just be nice.
That's a horrible feeling, though, to go out to a crowd like that.
It is. But you know what? It's also a challenge. And I thrive off that. I thrive off winning people over. So if anything, it made me a harder artist to knock down.
I love that about you. I remember asking you last time, how do you feel on a wet day? You went, I love needy rain. It's such a needy emotion.
I love needy rain. That's just so... I don't like shower rain when you don't realise it's raining and then you touch your hair and it's soaking wet. I like proper fat rain. And even when I was little, we've got pictures and videos of me. Every time it rained, I wanted to go outside. Bring it on. Anything. You just got to learn you got to learn. I always say to my friends, never be afraid of a storm. Just learn how to dance in the rain. I love that saying. It's so true.
You're full of good advice, actually. Last time I saw you, I asked you what your biggest challenge was to date, and you said it was writing the new album. How do you feel you've done?
You know what? I had a moment on the way to my album cover shoot, and I listened to the album for the first time because I'd finished it at like 6 a.m. that morning, and I had hardly any sleep. And I put it on in the car outside of studio and outside of the bubble of like that one room where everything's very loud and it sounds maybe better than it could be, or if it is. And I put it on and I was like, whoa, I'm really proud of this album. Like, it really shows who I am. And I keep saying this, but I feel like this album has really laid the foundation of the woman that I'm going to be forever. But in every sense, like a mother one day, a daughter, a sister, a friend, an artist, a fan of other people. It really lays down the foundations of the person that I feel like I'm becoming. And yeah, that feels great.
Do you ever get daunted thinking you're leaving like a legacy? You're becoming a name that people
I'm
will
very
remember?
aware that everything I'm doing now, my kids are going to see. And I wasn't like that 2 years ago. But now I feel like, you know, my sisters have both had children and I'm really, really close to my mum and dad. And I feel like when I hit 25, something in my mind just went, everything you leave behind, anyone, my nieces, my nephews, they're going to watch me and go, well, what did Auntie Jess do? Or what did Mummy do? And I want it to be inspirational. I want it to be edgy, but I don't want it to be offensive. So I'm just very aware of what I'm doing now.
So do you want kids?
Yeah, 100%. I'd love kids.
Any time for love right now?
No. I'm very much focused on my music, but I think there's always space and time. If you meet someone, I think it's important to make that time. I'm not one of those people that's like, workaholic, it won't happen. But right now, no.
What kind of guy do you go for?
Someone that has ambition, someone that I can miss. I don't want someone that's in my pocket or like follows me around. I'm a very busy, independent woman. But someone that can make me laugh, that's very important. Because I've seen what that's done for my mum and dad. You know,
keeps
35
sometimes.
years I've watched and I've seen them and I now know what I deserve. You know, a lot of people only accept the love they think they deserve. And sometimes that's not enough. So my standards are very high.
Good luck.
For everyone out there, yes.
Grace sent me a message saying, do you ever practice the faces that you pull in the mirror at home?
No, I don't. And sometimes I watch back The Voice or a performance and go, how does my face do that? But if you ever meet my dad or my sisters, you'd understand. We all have really stretchy skin. And I've got a really big mouth, as everyone knows.
Everyone says that about me. So, You're not on your own.
So it's good. Why not, you know? It's fun to pull silly faces.
Is there anything that you miss that you can't do anymore?
Being spontaneous. I miss being spontaneous. I miss just going for a walk and not having to worry about putting a hoodie on or a scarf or a hat or glasses or... Everything has to be a plan now. If I want to go for dinner, I have to plan it 2 days before, and you know, book security. Or you know, that's the bit I miss. I just miss getting in my car and driving to Brighton or driving to the seaside or going to see a musical. And sometimes people think that every time you're out in public, you're out to promote yourself, and sometimes you just want to be outside. I
just want to get out.
Yeah, so that's the bit that I miss. But apart from that, you know, it's cool.
Because on your YouTube, you used to say, I'm bobbling across London, I'm going for a meeting with my manager or whatever.
Yeah, of course. I can't do
come
that
and say
anymore.
hi to me. You couldn't, you get
no,
mobbed.
a lot now. It's really tough because a lot of my fans have noticed that. They're like, you don't tell us where you are anymore. And I'm like, I have to look out for my safety. And I'll be honest about it, because, you know, not everybody is out to be nice and be calm. And, you know, I've had my experiences of, you know, paparazzi and fans that get a bit too confident, and it's scary as a young girl, you know. You can sometimes a bit like, whoa.
I bet.
So, but, you know, I take it in my stride, and I just make sure that I'm safe, and I deserve my privacy as everyone else does.
I feel like getting that door and just pushing you out and seeing what happens on the street. Mobbed.
No, people go, why don't you do Dare Jessie J? And I'm like, because I can't do the dare before people notice me. It's so much harder now.
It's a pleasure to see you again,
And
babe.
you.
You always boost me up. You always make me feel good.
Yeah.